My girlfriend, 24, is the breadwinner in our household. I don't really make that much, but she has a stable job and her parents are loaded. So whenever it comes to big purchases, like our first home and car, etc., she handles it. I usually just try to buy the smaller necessities, like household utilities and groceries. Obviously, I get teased and hassled about it from people we know once in a while. I really don't appreciate it when this happens. I've talked to my girlfriend about how she feels about these things. She told me what I do is enough for her, and the only thing that matters is that we are happy. A friend of hers literally won't shut up about me being the housewife, her exact words. She always passively aggressively makes remarks about my income and things about how a man should care for his girlfriend. Since she usually does this in front of other people, I don't say anything because I hate making scenes in public, so I usually just stay silent. We had a small get-together with my and my girlfriend's friends, and she was invited. The first thing she commented on was the decor in our house. She then smirked and asked if I was the one who paid for it or my girlfriend. My girlfriend gave me this look like, "I'm sorry," and that really just set me off. After everyone came in, I asked her to come to the front door. When we got there, I asked her to put on her shoes. She asked where we were going, and I told her she was leaving because I'm not dealing with her stupid crap tonight. She said it's not up to me since I didn't pay for the house, and I told her I would make sure she would have zero fun if she decided to stay. She said her boyfriend dropped her off and that she didn't have a ride, and I told her to go Uber or something. She left and some people started asking me where she was. I just said she had to go because something came up, but my girlfriend's friends didn't take the story because they overheard what she had said to me and guessed that I kicked her out. I just told them what happened, and they started scolding me for kicking her out over nothing, and that if I was a real man, the things she said shouldn't bother me. What the heck does that even mean? My girlfriend is indifferent to the situation, but my girlfriend's friends don't seem to understand that it's really annoying to have to deal with that every time I see her. So I feel conflicted, and maybe I shouldn't have kicked her out. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, but your girlfriend is. Nobody should be disrespected by guests in their own homes. Girlfriend should have shut this down the first time it happened. Your masculinity is not at issue. Your dignity and privacy are. Girlfriend should not allow her friends to abuse the man she loves. Not the idiot at all, and your girlfriend needs to handle her friend. You did a classy thing by not making a scene and politely telling her she should leave. I might have made it uglier than that. If it truly doesn't bother your girlfriend that she's the breadwinner, then she needs to tell any naysayers exactly what she told you. It doesn't matter, we are happy. The fact that she doesn't and instead looks at you with "I'm sorry" eyes or whatever is concerning. Comments like girlfriend's friends are not only insulting to you for trying to belittle your station in life, but they promote negative stereotypes about women in general. A true friend of your girlfriend's would celebrate her success and be happy for her ability to earn, not weaponize it against her partner. I don't know any real man that would allow himself to be disrespected in his own home. Not the idiot. I don't have to be insulted in my own home, is all you have to say to those people. No man puts up with that nonsense. They think that because you don't contribute as much money, you don't have the same authority as another man in his house. What a load of misogynistic crap. If you were a woman and your husband's friend kept insulting you to your face, you would also throw them out, and everyone would be cheering for you for standing up for yourself. As a separate issue, I suspect your girlfriend says different things to her friends than she does to you. Otherwise, they would have dropped it by now. Me, female 26, and my husband 29 have been married for a few months. His family lives in another town hours away. His mother came to stay with us for a few days after a conflict between her and her husband. Here's the thing. Unlike my in-laws, my family is very conservative. I grew up in a conservative household, so I see stuff at other people's houses that can make me feel uncomfortable. I do my best to be open-minded, but old habits sort of die hard because of my upbringing. My in-laws are the opposite. They are very open-minded. My husband is very close to his mother specifically. The issue began when my husband and I were sleeping at 7 a.m. when his mom knocked on the door wanting help with something. My husband got out of bed and went to meet her downstairs. I was half asleep, but then I was already awake when he came back into the bedroom. He started talking about an issue with the oven while Mom was trying to make us breakfast. I wasn't paying much attention to what he was saying because I kept wondering how he could go outside the bedroom and meet his mom while wearing shorts. I pointed that out, and it somehow made him upset, asking if I was serious. I told him I just didn't feel comfortable with him wearing shorts around his mom. He lashed out, saying it wasn't a big deal, and found it strange I'm uncomfortable with him wearing shorts around his mom since that's his mom. I shrugged and said I can't help it, but feel this way, and suggested he wear pants or jeans since all of them are accessible and take no time to put on. He lashed out, calling me ridiculous and to stop acting as if it were a big deal. We argued back and forth, and then he got extremely upset with me, even though I only asked him not to do that again. He said he didn't appreciate what I said and said it's my house, I can wear what I want to, then went downstairs and had breakfast with his mom without even asking me to join them. I felt bad because I might have handled this conversation poorly. Still, he refused to listen to what I had to say and just acted dismissively towards my feelings. What did I even just read? My son wanders around in shorts first thing in the morning. That's what a normal son does around his mother. So are you seriously suggesting that there's something wrong with wearing shorts around your own mother? Even if he was bare butt naked, so what? That's her son. I'm disturbed you would, number one, think it was weird that your husband was wearing shorts around his mother, and two, that you think you can order him to do something and he should comply. You are his wife, not his ruler. You do not get to order him to do anything, ever. You are the idiot. Just imagine if OP has a kid. How dare you wear a diaper when they're a guest? If she has a daughter, I bet dollars to donuts we'll see her soon wondering if the father bathing the daughter is wrong. You are the idiot. You don't get to police his clothing. I get that you were raised conservatively, but it's honestly weird that you're doing this to his relationship with his mother. OP, your husband, could walk around in nothing but a Speedo, and his mom would not care. Why? Because she's his mom. If your family members ever judged your clothing or used your clothing as an excuse to harass or assault you and say that you're asking for it, they're in the wrong, and you're in the wrong for acting like your mother-in-law is some kind of demon. And he didn't even invite me for breakfast. Jesus, OP needs an invite to go for breakfast. You are the idiot, OP. This woman literally birthed him. She has seen every inch of his body already. Further, your feelings about dressing conservatively are not a valid excuse to dictate what your partner wears. If you can't get over other people not dressing the way you want, then that's something you need to work on personally. I, 42 female, have 2 daughters, aged 20 and 23, who haven't gotten along in 18 years. I was a young mom and I had Kelly, 23, when I was 19. When I was pregnant, I didn't know who her father was between 2 men. I had a one-night stand with Chris, who was Black, and very shortly after, I entered a relationship with Mike, who was Asian. I'm white. Upon finding out I was pregnant, Chris made it clear that he wanted nothing to do with it, and Mike decided that it didn't matter who biologically fathered the baby. He wanted to be with me and raise her as his own. So that's what we did. Kelly was born healthy. She was perfect and things were good. She was an easy baby who grew to be an easy toddler. And when she was 3, I had my second daughter. Kelly adored her little sister and always wanted to help care for her. She would help by handing us diapers and brushing her hair and singing lullabies. But as Trixie, 20, got older and her physical features matured, Mike's side of the family started to treat Kelly very differently, and I didn't see it soon enough. Kelly is half Black, half white. She has light brown eyes, brown curly hair, darker skin. She calls herself Mocha. She's tall and she's curvy. She is absolutely stunning. Trixie is half Asian, half white. She has big green eyes, pin straight jet black hair, fair skin. She's short and petite. She's also incredibly beautiful. My girls could not be more opposite, but Trixie was highly favored by Mike's family. They constantly shamed Kelly and taught her that everything she is bad and wrong. They always compared her to her sister. They chemically straightened her hair, gave her skin lightening creams, body shamed her, and told her to stay out of the sun, all while praising Trixie for her natural beauty. I later learned that they only spoke to her this way in their native language, which Kelly is fluent in. I think this is part of the reason why I didn't know it was happening. I don't speak the language. Years of this and more caused Kelly to resent her sister. She is incredibly cold towards Trixie and generally wants nothing to do with her. Trixie wants so badly to connect with Kelly and tries by sharing exciting life events, but it's often met with, okay, or you don't need my approval, or some other dismissal. I've asked Kelly why she can't give her sister a chance. She says that Trixie annoys her so much that she can hardly stand to be in the same room as her for too long because she gets this overwhelming feeling of irritability that affects her entire being. She leaves the space so that she doesn't snap at her sister because she knows she doesn't deserve it. I know Kelly doesn't like feeling this way about her sister. Why the heck did you and Mike allow them to treat Kelly this way? I get that you don't speak their language, but Mike does. Skin lightening creams, chemically straighten her hair. They literally were hurting your daughter and teaching her and Trixie to hate herself just for being mixed, something she has no control over. It's pretty obvious that Kelly hates her sister because Trixie represents everything she isn't. She's the family's golden child and probably repeats the same toxic things to Kelly without you around. If you have any love for Kelly, you need to be begging for forgiveness for failing to protect and stand up for her as her mother and grow a spine. Any chance to heal this damage requires a lot of therapy. What kind of actions were taken after you found out that they abused your child? None? This is also on the dad, who promised to raise the oldest child as his own, but then let his family abuse her? He speaks the native language, so there's no excuse for letting it go on as long as he did. OP is at fault for not doing more once she found out, but he's at fault for letting it happen in the first place. Have you addressed any of this with her? Have you apologized? Have you asked Mike and his family to apologize? If not, then that's where you start. It's not Kelly's place to make the first move. You and your whole family should be groveling for her forgiveness before you even entertain the thought of her giving anyone a chance. Even then, you shouldn't expect her forgiveness. You're lucky she still speaks to you at all. You could also be honest with Trixie about the hurt Kelly suffered, if you haven't already. I, 19 female, ride public transport to commute to college. The line I ride is filled mainly with high school kids, some elderly people, and very few other college students. Today, a girl walked in, maybe 14 or 15. I don't know for sure, but she was in high school. She had a knee brace, a boot, and crutches, and sat in the disabled elderly pregnant women's seats. I was sitting in one of the normal seats. The bus was almost completely full, and an elderly man walks in. He asked her if he could have her seat, as it was meant for the elderly. For context, the others were a pregnant woman and some elderly people. There are 6 total disabled seats. She said disabled people could sit there as well, and she really disliked standing and it hurt. This is where I piped up and said a broken leg wasn't a disability, and she didn't have the right to the seat. She got up and offered her seat. I talked to my friend, 20 female, about it, and she said I was wrong. She did deserve the seat, and I should have given up my seat, and most of the kids on the bus come from very low-income families, and this was probably her only option. Now I'm starting to think he's right, and I should have just given up my seat, and the girl did have a right to the seat. Am I the idiot? I had to read this post like 10 times to see what I missed because surely OP was not able-bodied and in possession of a seat but bullied a young disabled person into giving up a seat they were entitled to, and then was not sure if maybe they were the idiot? But here we are. You are the idiot. A broken leg is definitely a disability. Therefore, you should have given up your seat. So says the rest of the world. Incredibly, it never crossed OP's mind, nor the minds of any other able-bodied person on the bus. You are the idiot, in a truly spectacular way. She was most certainly temporarily disabled and had every right to that seat. Further, that you would sit in judgment of someone on crutches and shame her into giving up her seat while you sat is outrageous. Idiot is too nice a word for you. This is so awful. Yep, you are the idiot. If a broken leg isn't a disability, what is? It's not permanent, But disabilities don't have to be permanent, just real. Being on crutches hurts, and yeah, it's not your job to decide if someone's disability is enough to deserve a real seat. I, 26 female, am getting married this winter. My bachelorette party was supposed to be this weekend at my uncle's beach house. My maid of honor had planned a group beach trip for the bridesmaids and me. My uncle let us stay there free of charge, and he was very gracious to do that. I don't know any details about what the girls have planned. I just know that 2 of my bridesmaids can't make it. I've known this from the start. A few days ago, my cousin, 26 female, who was one of my bridesmaids, mentioned that she would be bringing her 6-month-old son to the beach weekend, and that it would be okay since my aunt and uncle own the beach house. Her parents have decided to come too so they can watch him. I was shocked. It's obviously nothing personal against my aunt and uncle or my cousin's child, but I wanted this to be a girls' weekend and just enjoy myself with my girls. I don't want any of them to have to worry about taking care of babies and kids. I also don't exactly want to drink and party in front of my aunt and uncle. I told her I love son's name, and you know that, but I thought it would just be us girls this weekend. She said, well, you never said we couldn't bring kids, so I didn't think it would be an issue. I can't just stop being a mom for a weekend. She's right, I didn't say that, but I also didn't think anyone would just assume I'm cool with it without asking. I told my maid of honor that maybe it's better if we just reschedule and do a girls' night in at my place with wine and face masks, etc., some other weekend instead. I explained that not everyone can make it this weekend anyway, and this way we can do something with just us girls. She completely understood, but some of the girls in my entire family are extremely upset with me. One bridesmaid had already bought a bunch of food for the weekend, and she is now out that money. My cousin told my family that I said I didn't want her son or her parents there, and they were super offended. My whole family is talking about me behind my back now and calling me ungrateful and entitled. I know this because my mom knew what happened before I could even tell her. She told me it was selfish to cancel it last minute and that not everything is about me. Maybe I handled it wrong, but I just didn't expect there to be additional people coming. It kind of changes the vibe a bit, and I want this weekend to be amazing. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. 6-month-old children do not belong at bachelorette parties. Whether or not you affirmatively communicated that fact, it is socially implied. Absent some medical need, young moms often stop being a mom for a weekend by leaving their children with grandparents or the child's father. As far as the aunt and uncle, while it was generous for them to offer the house, it was offered as an empty house. I'm sure you would have selected a different location otherwise. I would not characterize it as rescheduling, but rather a change in location, because the bridesmaid and her parent have essentially changed the conditions. Frankly, I would consider whether the bridesmaid should be in the wedding party at all. Oh my God. First of all, not the idiot. Your cousin is so out of line, and your family sounds like a bunch of unempathetic narcissists. I feel like everyone else here is the idiot. Your cousin should never plan to come to a bachelorette party with a baby and parents. Why would she ever think that's okay? For your mom to say not everything is about you? Maybe not, but your bachelorette should definitely be all about you and what you want. Your friends who spent money and food should take the highway and try to see it from your perspective. Freeze the food, find a way around it. Don't blame the bride for your issues. Not the idiot. That's not a bachelorette party. That's your friend taking control of the situation to her advantage. I'd rethink inviting her to the wedding after all this drama. The point is to celebrate you. I don't know if I'm super upset about my own bachelor party going awry, but your family is straight up wrong for giving you a hard time about it. Your family and friends who were going to the batch could have offered to help. It could have been somewhere else, but instead they let her parents side goggle the party.